Good morning, and welcome back for Storytime. I'm Will Roulette with the Fire Museum of Maryland. This week we're going to be reading Jenois Wilson, Firefighter, She Dared to Be First by Carol Butler, illustrated by Teresa Yarbrough. This week we have a special treat, which is a message from the subject of the book, Jenois herself. Here she is.
Hi, my name is Jenois Wilson Brabson. The book, Jenois Wilson Firefighter, is featuring a story about me written by Carol Butler, and I am so honored and appreciative of Will choosing to read this book to you today. And hope you all have a good time. It should have a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of history, and mostly just a good read for you. So thank you, Will, for reading this book, and hope to talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jenois, and thank you for your service to your community. And here is her story. The fire truck came screaming down East Wallace Street. Its siren was really loud. Where was it going? Whose house was on fire? All the children came running from their homes to see what the commotion was. The number 2 fire station was only a few blocks away, but the truck was moving very fast. Some of the firefighters were hanging on the back of the truck as it sped down the street. The firefighters were ready to help the family whose home was on fire. Jenois Wilson was a little girl, about 8 years old. She played with all the children on East Wallace Street, but her 2 best friends were Dolores and Janet. She knew that the sound of the siren meant one of her friends was in danger. She closed her eyes and said a prayer, hoping all the children would be safe. Jenois and her family lived in the country outside a small town in Arkansas before they moved to Fort Wayne, Indiana. When Jenois was about a year old, there was a fire in their home. Her sister was 3 years old. They were playing when her sister's dress caught on fire. The volunteers who came to fight the fire did not get to their home in time. The fire burned her sister very badly. It was a very sad time for Jenois and her family. Jenois and her family found a very busy city when they arrived in Fort Wayne, Indiana. There were many factories and businesses going strong. Men and women workers made TVs, trucks, wire used in electrical motors, and the very best potato chips, Safers. Some workers were inventors. Their inventions helped Fort Wayne's families and people around the world live better lives. There were other jobs for people to do in the city too. You could work downtown in a store, in an office, or become a nurse or a teacher. Some workers helped to keep everyone safe. They were police officers, firefighters, and deputies. When Jenois was growing up, most of the time only men could have these jobs. Many African American families came to Fort Wayne just like Jenois and her family had. They were looking for better jobs and better schools for their children. During the time Jenois was growing up, African Americans were not allowed to live in every neighborhood, and they were not allowed to have every job they wanted. When a woman, man, girl, or boy became the first African American to do something, or the first to be hired for a special job, everyone was very, very proud. At the top, Toni Morrison, the first African American woman to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature. She also won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction. On the right, Mae Jemison, the first African American woman astronaut. Below, Hattie McDaniel, the first African American woman to win an Oscar. On the left, Shirley Chisholm, the first African American woman elected to serve in the U.S. Congress, and the first African American woman to run for President of the United States. Jenois decided she wanted to be a teacher when she grew up. She studied very hard every year in school, and while she was going to college, she got a chance to work in a classroom assisting a teacher. Genois was glad that she got to learn what it would be like to be a teacher, but she also believed there was something else she should be doing. Genois started a new job working as the person who answered the calls for the fire department when people called for help. She sent the fire trucks to the offices, homes, and buildings when there was a fire. It was a very important job. Then one day, Fire Chief Thomas Lorraine asked if she wanted to make history, and Genois said yes. She started the fire department's training school, and on March 30th, 1975, Genois Wilson became the first woman firefighter in the fire department of Fort Wayne, Indiana. It wasn't easy for Genois. She was the only woman. When the new firefighters were learning how to do their jobs, she had to do everything the men did. She ran with them and lifted heavy weights and ropes like the ones used on the fire trucks. It was hard work, but Genois was strong and determined, and she passed the test. The firefighters stayed at the fire station all day and all night. They were always ready to go if there was a fire. The male firefighters all slept together at the firehouse, but Genois could not stay with the men. She went home every night. It was many years before the fire department built rooms for women firefighters to stay overnight in the firehouse. Then there was another change in Genois's life. She became a teacher, just as she had dreamed about. This time, she went to all the schools and she taught fire safety to hundreds of children. Genois Wilson taught the school children how to use smoke detectors to save lives. One day there was a big fire in a family's home. Because of the fire, everyone worked together. The firefighters, police, parents, and teachers raised money to build the Survive Alive house at Safety Village. Children could now learn exactly what to do if they were in a fire. Genois made sure everyone would have a smoke detector in their home. There were even smoke detectors for people who could not hear. When Genois visited the school, she told the students about fire safety. They practiced things they should do if there was a fire drill at school or if a smoke detector went off during the night at their home. Genois also told them how sad she was when she was with her sister and their home caught on fire. The children always listened to her, and the fire safety lessons they learned from her saved many lives. Genois followed her dream and made history when she said yes to Chief Thomas Lorraine. She became the first woman firefighter in the city of Fort Wayne, Indiana. She dared to be first. She worked hard and showed courage. She did very well in her career as a firefighter. She became a district chief before she retired. Many other women saw what Genois had done. They dared to follow in her footsteps and became firefighters. In 2012, the mayor of Fort Wayne named one of those women firefighters to be chief of the Fort Wayne Fire Department. Now, what do you dare to dream? Let us know in the comments. Bye.